amount of leads, which is really it's really good, but at the same time, I feel like there is miscommunication sometimes between the people who handle the call and us. So recently I start to see like there is some issues. So I need to do it myself or try to do it myself to see how it will go. Does this will improve people to come more, the leads to be to transform from just only people who asking for few treatments that they saw or advertised they saw on social media to make them real
Yeah.
patients.
Okay, so you've taken over the responsibility at the moment.
Recently, yes, I'm trying my best to.
Okay, nice.
Great. So we'll have lots of interesting examples for you, hopefully. And Doa, if you want to jump in any time with specific scenarios, feel free to do that as well. Okay,
Thanks,
so
Sarvan. So just before we start, and I know that this session is really focused on the patient communication, I just wanted to ask and probably to Shireen and to you here. I remember that one of the ladies that you have always hosted as a speaker in our topics, Lucy Bradley, if I recall the
yeah,
name correctly,
yes, yes.
she always spoke negatively about using WhatsApp communication, and she's more into using other types of communication rather than WhatsApp. So perhaps as well as you're taking us through the content for today, it's also good to showcase what are the good and the bad things about pros and cons of WhatsApp and whether it would be yes useful at times or not useful at other times. That will be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's a very good point. So, our position is actually very similar to Lucy Bradley. So, especially when we go into the clinics and we see that they are getting 30, 40, 50 leads a day from Instagram and from WhatsApp, and actually it never usually crosses their mind to get on the phone and to speak on the phone to these patients. So, we are strong advocates of this, and we really
Mm.
believe that it's time saving. First of all, Chantal sees it all the time, with the back and forth of, you respond to the inquiry, but then that person's not available to chat right now, so you have to go back to it later. So it's very time consuming. Jumping on the phone is much more efficient, but also it allows you to build trust and rapport, and they hear your voice, like the moment you speak to somebody and you have a nice friendly voice, everything is much easier to communicate, especially with demanding patients. So we really advocate this. But of course, it's unavoidable, those WhatsApp conversations. So that's why we wanted to run a session on it, because leads are coming through WhatsApp, right? So when you do marketing, most of the time the inquiries are coming through WhatsApp. If patients heard about you or your clinic, they are lazy, they'll send you a WhatsApp, they're not going to call you. So in the end, you have to respond to that message. And it's a very good question you have, because actually we are focusing tonight's session on the importance of the first message on WhatsApp. So assuming that you're not going to have your entire conversation on WhatsApp, at least you're going to start it, because you have to respond to your client on WhatsApp. So how does that first message set the tone for that rapport that you're building with the client? Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Perfectly
so
makes sense. Thanks.
yeah. So Shireen, I don't know if you will have the ability to call the patients, but yes, like we'll talk about it, and we often recommend if you can call the patient, it's much better. But if it's not possible, then you can talk on WhatsApp. And not all patients want you to call them either. They will say I'm busy, they will not respond. So that's why it's important to be comfortable on WhatsApp as well.
Yes, but I'm just confused because I don't know how professional is it for us to call them, just direct call. This is I really it's confusing. Should you just message them or send a voice note for them or calling
Uh,
them?
I,
It's confusing.
I think as doctors, practitioners, and therapists in Dubai, I mean, we're so used to, we're all tech savvy. We all use WhatsApp to communicate with our patients, um, or clients. But I think we all need to start stepping out of our comfort zone because at the end of the day, the patient has made an inquiry with you specifically. So they're going to expect either a phone call or a WhatsApp message or whatever it may be. Worst case scenario, they'll prefer a text message and they'll let you know. But I think these days, a lot of patients do prefer or appreciate a phone call because it is easier, it's less time consuming, it's less back and forth. You go straight to the point, and any questions they have, they'll be able to have direct answers from you over the phone. And if they're directly getting in contact with you rather than your reception team, then I feel like they'd feel a little bit more important at the fact that you as the practitioner is taking their direct call or you're calling them directly. And it sort of uplifts that VIP treatment between, you and someone else who's performing the same treatments. So I think it's just building that confidence and building that, just the new way of doing things, because I think it's very important as the first point of contact is to hear your voice, and build that rapport and that relationship through, through your voice.
And I think, in this market, which is saturated, ladies, we know that the importance is to stand out and to be different and to be unique. So when actually so many clinics and practitioners are trying to find expensive ways of standing out, this is actually a very affordable, simple way of standing
Simple.
out. Clients, they will send the same inquiry probably to 4 or 5 clinics or 4 or 5 practitioners. And we can assure you that 90% of the clinics will send them like disastrous responses back, with no rapport building, no personalization. And just, of course, the fact that you will answer professionally on WhatsApp would be like a breath of fresh air for them. But if you even suggest to get on a call, and we will show you tonight how to do it, I think it's all about showing them that you are here for them, you have time, and you would actually love to have a quick, not consultation, but a quick assessment on the phone to understand what are their needs and what are they looking for. And it really secures that relationship with your clients. So it's whether you're comfortable or not, it's entirely up to you, but it's good to try it, in our opinion. Okay, so tonight's agenda, you can see my screen, right? You can see the slide, today's agenda.
Yes, it's coming up.
Yeah, thanks, because I'm a bit fiddly tonight. So today's agenda,
Yeah.
we want to show you the WhatsApp etiquette and features that you can use. So we are focusing on WhatsApp, let's say, or Instagram in some ways. And then how do you use WhatsApp, not just to answer inquiries, but to really start building a trust around your communication. So why are we talking about trust when we talk about WhatsApp? So actually, WhatsApp is a very sometimes non-emotional communication method. And we know that when we're trying to acquire patients and retain patient base, actually what we want to build is we want to build rapport and relationships so that these patients of yours, they keep coming back again and again. So how do you convey from your written messages an element of trust so that they feel that they're in the right hand, they've landed and messaged the right person? And how do you start building a unique rapport that's friendly but professional with that person that has reached out to you? So these are what we want to focus on tonight. So we want to talk a bit more about the first WhatsApp message. So as we said, somebody reaches out to you. Hi, Shireen. I want to find out about your exosome treatment. Okay. So first thing is that first message that you're going to send back is the first impression, right? First impressions matter. People never forget first impressions. And first impressions leave us with a feeling within just a few seconds. So the tone of your message on that first message is extremely important. And it has to be wow. It has to be personal. It has to be authentic. It has to be caring. And it has to be unique. It has to be you. So we suggest for it to be very warm and personal so that you make an impact. And immediately from the get-go, when they ask you about the procedure, for example, show that you have confidence in helping them. So from the beginning, you will have a tone of voice which is assertive and confident, but warm and personal at the same time. So we're going to give you an example of how to respond to a simple inquiry. For example, hi, I would like to inquire about Botox. So ladies, let me know, how would you respond to this normally in writing? This person didn't give you their name, so it's a pretty like cold, boring message. Hi, I want to inquire about Botox. There are so many ways you could respond to it, right? So we're going to try and determine, how do we get the conversation going?
So I would try. For me, I would say like, hi, thanks for reaching out to me, and may I have your name so we can proceed further.
Okay. So when she gives you the name, hey, I'm Chantal, what would be next?
Her contact number, so I will contact her directly, so we can have a better conversation.
Okay. Doa,
This is what I started to do.
sure. That's great, Shireen. Thank you.
That's a good question, Sir Rhiannon, and I really love Shireen's response by taking the opportunity to get in touch directly with the client, and can name, contact number, and perhaps could you tell us more about your concerns, and let me contact you to understand more. Because this client is perhaps asking about Botox, but who knows if Botox is really the right treatment slash procedure for her or not. Could be yes, could be no, so it's worth having a discussion.
Okay. Chantal, can we hear from you? So would you
Yes.
start by collecting the name and the contact details first?
Look, sometimes we have to take it back and be a little bit more simple sorry, what was that, Savan? It just broke out.
Sorry for the delay. Yes, I was just
Can you hear
asking.
me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The, so sometimes we just take it back a little bit more simpler, and you want to sort of build that rapport. So usually on WhatsApp or social media, usually there will be a name. If they haven't got just initials, usually they have a name available where you can click on some more information and the name will pop up. So there's nothing wrong with addressing the patient first by their name. Hi Chantal, thank you so much for your inquiry. You're speaking with Dr.
Sure.
Fatma, for example, and introduce yourself so they know who they're actually dealing with and who they're speaking with. If you would like to, have a conversation with them over the phone, there's nothing wrong with actually asking them, uh, is this a good time to get in contact with you, and then actually try um, initiate a phone call. And then if they don't, then you can show, genuine interest in their concern. I'd be more than happy to assist you with your inquiry. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? And then you can go on to ask them, before you ask for their contact details, etc. Obviously, you want to know what their concern is. So you want to build a rapport, you want to ask them questions, and then you would go on to sort of create a solution for them, instead of just sort of rambling on. So always nice to greet them by their name, introduce yourself, and then potentially asking them for a phone call if you do feel hesitant to just pick up the phone straight away and ring them.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about this a little later on. It's very important to collect the contact details for a purpose. So if you ask for the name and the telephone number, the pros is that you're going to be able to personalize it because you have that person's first name. The cons is that you're breaking down a little bit the flow. So you're just kind of, gathering contact information, which nobody gets excited about gathering contact information. So sometimes it troubles them, when you ask for details. So some of them we see they don't respond when you send that question. They kind of just they can't be bothered, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But if you're going to collect that information, which is the best practice, we agree, and I do it myself. I always want to have the contact details of people I speak to, but make sure that you store and keep that information neatly in a spreadsheet, for example, or somewhere. So if you take some time from them to take the email address and other details, then make sure that it's recorded, and we'll show you how to do that. So I agree with Chantal that immediately, we would want you to to be able to send a warm message back and also introduce yourself. So either you ask for the first name, she's going to give you her first name, or you will see it from her WhatsApp profile information. You can click on the image and usually the name comes up. Everybody's put their name on WhatsApp. So this is an example. Hey, Sarah, this is Dr. Shiva with you. Hi, Sarah, this is Shireen with you. I'd love to help you with your Botox treatment. I treat a lot of patients with similar concerns in my practice, and you've definitely reached the right person. This is maybe a little over the top in terms of confidence, but we want to show you an example where from the get-go, you sound really interested to deal with this patient, and you're very confident that actually you are the Botox expert or PRP or exosome or whatever she asked you about. So this could sound like,
And it also makes them feel at ease as well when you do say, you have contacted the right person, you have come to the right place.
100%. So don't think that this is going to be overselling yourself. This is just building that trust and that confidence that they have reached the right place, as Chantal said. Everybody loves to know that, I've contacted this person and she's the right person for what I'm looking for. Because we know that patients have so much choice nowadays, right? So they already made a choice to contact you and not another person. So reassure them that you are the right person. So this could be, hey, Sarah, this is Shireen with you. I'd love to help you with your exosome treatment. I treat a lot of patients with exosomes these days, and you've definitely reached the right person. A little bit of exclamation mark, something warm, something dynamic and enthusiastic as well. So
We've just had a message come through, Savan, from Doa. What if this is not a genuine inquiry? Could be a competitive spy. So maybe like a mystery, yeah, a mystery caller or a mystery message.
well, you just
Are
have
you
to deal
worried that
with
they
it.
would not be your way? Yeah.
I think you cannot
Unfortunately, in
afford,
Dubai as well, there's a lot of that happens, and a lot of spam and a lot of messages that come through, to see the way you do things.
yes, and if anything, they will see that
But
you're.
you can't assume as well.
Yes, you definitely should not be on your guard on a regular basis, because of that potential. It could be, and I do believe it happens because most of the clinics tell us when we go in there, oh, we called a few other clinics to see what they offer and how much is it and so on. But yes, like always keep your tone professional and being convinced that you're dealing with a patient. And I think, the more you answer queries, the more you'll be able to gauge if one of them is not authentic as well. So very important to introduce yourself. Thank you, Doa. And always have that warmth and that confidence in your first message. Another tip, okay, before we go ahead. So in the last session, actually, a few of our members were asking, actually, the patient might be surprised that they're speaking with me directly and why they're not speaking to the clinic. So this will depend on the scenario, but it happens sometimes that the patient is surprised that it's the doctor or the therapist themselves answering the message. So we wanted to talk about this and say that, well, if they're surprised, make them feel special and lucky that they're speaking with you rather than speaking with maybe a bored receptionist. So an example of how to reply to this could be, I personally always like to speak with my patients first. Although you'll be meeting me in the consultation, I love to answer any questions beforehand as well. Okay, so any question that they have or slight doubt or concern that you
Also builds trust from the.
Sorry, are you here, Chantal? Yes. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay.
Yep, sorry, I think there's just a lag.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just saying it. Yeah, that's okay. I was just going to say, like Saban was saying, you also build trust, and it's so hard to find a doctor or a practitioner here to trust, to perform the right treatment or recommend the right treatment, or even just get in contact with the doctor themselves. So, um, I think it's great that they hear directly from you. So just know that your patients would definitely appreciate it, rather than it coming off weird that the doctor is, we had questions last time where doctors were saying, yeah, but it looks like that we're not busy, that we don't have receptionists and we're not busy enough to have receptionists. But I don't think patients actually think like that. I think they'd appreciate hearing directly from you. So you actually have an advantage and an upper hand in comparison to other practitioners out there who are relying on receptionists who potentially don't even know what you're offering, your services, your prices, and they're probably losing your patients. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Don't let them make you doubt. So when you speak to patients, we have an important tip for you. So you always want to keep the upper hand on the conversation. What do I mean by this? So patient is asking you question usually, and you're responding. But you need to try and change the mindset of that conversation so that the patient is always feeling like you're leading the conversation. You know exactly what the patient might want, might need, and you're confident and in control of the information that you're providing. So you need to be attentive. You do need to listen to the patient and let them talk to you. What are they looking for? Why are they reaching out? But always lead the conversation. This is very important. Same as in your consultation, actually, right? Shireen, for example, when you consult or Doa, you're the one leading the patient through that consultation journey. So on WhatsApp, that needs to reflect as well. So, for example, when you're talking to your patients, they ask you questions and you provide a response. But when you provide the response, always make sure that your response includes an open-ended question so that you can keep the conversation going. This is a basic communication tip and tactic. So instead of, for example, saying, we'll give you the prime example that we see in a lot of clinics. Hi, how much is Botox? Botox is 600 dirham. Then you're leaving it completely entirely up to the patient to respond to you back or not. So this is definitely not the right communication etiquette. So usually with price, we like to first of all sell the value of your treatment and say what it includes. Then you give the price and then you follow with an open-ended question. So Chantal can give an example for that. So let's say,
Also, I mean, yep. Sorry, Savannah.
yeah, so let's say the question from the patient is, how much is your Botox treatment? So rather than saying 600 dirham, you would first sell a little bit the value, why that you use high-end products, and this includes a follow-up, and I charge 600 dirham, and then you ask a question. So Chantal can give us an example for that.
Yeah, so you would obviously leave the price till last. So you want to end your question with an open-ended question and say, would you like me to organize an appointment for you, or what day and time would be most suitable? I have an opening for this afternoon if you would like to come in. So you would always end up with a question in regards to making an appointment directly. You wouldn't just want to end it with a price and then wait for them to respond or potentially not respond because they're not happy with the price. But you always want to make sure you're leaving the price till last. Or if you can get that price information over a phone call, that's even better because sometimes their eyes go straight to the price in the message. But if you are giving that 600 dirham price, for example, and you're highlighting the value, I can tailor a customized treatment plan for you. I would need you to come in and we can perform an assessment. I do charge 600 dirhams for a consultation. However, this payment may be waived if we do perform treatment. Would you like to come in, or when would be most suitable for you to book in an appointment? So always end up with an open-ended question, allowing them to respond back to you.
Absolutely. So we have here an example. If somebody is asking you for the price of consultation, it could be for the price of Botox. So, hi Sarah, hi Chantal. Thank you for your inquiry. You could add Shireen here with you. I'm glad that you reached out. Something confident, something warm. My comprehensive consultation typically lasts up to 30 minutes, during which I will thoroughly assess your area of concern and develop a treatment plan for you. Instead of saying develop a treatment plan for you. So you're always relating back to them. The consultation fee is 600. You could even say my consultation fee is 600. So you take ownership of your consultation, ownership of your prices, and it's fully redeemable, if that's your case, upon proceeding with the treatment. Would you like me to book you in for an appointment? So what are the elements? Let's dissect this answer together so that, let's see if that resonates with you. So we highlighted in yellow, for example, the value, which is the 30 minutes. Why did we put this? Because we saw, for example, in so many clinics, let's take an example, the chiropractors, sometimes they struggle to sell the consultations because a lot of them, other clinics give it for free. So we advise the receptionist to say, explain, so that the patient can picture themselves, like, why are they paying for a consultation? Well, it's because it's 30 minutes and because there's an assessment and there's going to be a report and it's fully redeemable. So you have to present and you have to sell the value and the reason of your price. Okay, so can we have a practice of this type of answer? For example, Shireen or Doa with Botox. If somebody was asking about the price for Botox or PRP or exosome, whatever it is that you're offering.
Yes. So first I would ask like, would you just give me more information? Which area bothers you more? Why do you think you need Botox? And then they have to respond. So I believe that from this point we can start the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we will leave, for me, I will leave the price till the end.
Yes.
So maybe if I feel like we have a better conversation, I have this issue, okay, maybe you need this, maybe you need that, and then you can come by, we check your skin, we will evaluate, and then we can give you better price. But then if I feel like they insist, maybe I will set our price starting from this, let's say 600, let's say.
Yes. Very good point, Shireen. Always important to keep the price till the end.
Yeah.
I think there was a funny TikTok video that was shared on the members group after the last session, because apparently there was a funny TikTok video going around saying that, oh, when you call clinics in Dubai and ask for the price, they never give you the price.
Yeah.
Shiva mentioned that one. But it's true. I mean, look, if somebody is just wanting a number from you, they're probably not the right client for you.
Yes, but you know what I noticed in the ads that they coming, there are, let's say, 50% of the people, the first thing that they ask is how much is this service?
Yes.
So this is a big amount as well. We should consider these people as well, because I think that um, they are interested. Maybe they are on budget. I don't know. They have that amount of money. They think you are expensive. They can afford it. They not. That's why they
We
are
don't know.
coming
Yeah.
first. We don't know. So you need to give them time. You need to give them attention, because they will be, most probably they ask because they are like, they have intention.
Yes.
They are not asking of just without any intention to come for the treatment.
Exactly. I mean, we have so many clinics that tell us, oh, they're not good leads. No, a lead is a lead. Like you say, if somebody has reached out and asked for a price on information, it means they're in the market for that procedure. Maybe with not the budget that you charge, but they are in the market. So you need to take them seriously. But yes, it's important to, I think, not just be question answer. So the most important is just to get an open conversation going, exactly as you said, Shireen, asking them which specific areas. And there are so many questions that you can, build in your bank of questions to ask them. So an example could be, do you mind if I ask you, would that be your first Botox treatment? you know that actually that information does not have relevance in a way, right? For booking the appointment, or it doesn't have relevance in terms of the price that you're going to charge, but it has relevance in the sense that you get to know your patient a little bit
You're
better.
getting to know them. Yeah.
Mm.
And what you mentioned as well with pricing, when you tell your patient that the price starts from, for example, 600 dirhams, I think it's a better way to say, it does start from 600 dirhams rather than just giving them a figure, because even if it's like the minimum and you're not giving them the full cost, because then at least you've locked them in to come in for that consultation, and that way you can give them the treatment plan with the correct costing of everything. So I feel like that drives clients to come in better than just giving them the full price, even though you know how much you will potentially charge. So yeah, well done. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
So when we talk about price, we have to talk about patients saying to you in WhatsApp, it's expensive. So when patients say it's expensive, which they might do you face this issue, Shireen or Doa? Like, are they upfront and telling you it's too much?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
course.
Yeah, definitely I can relate to that. And also I can relate when at terms when I was the client. So yes, unfortunately I did say it myself too.
Yes, we all have.
So there's a lot of discussions, like when you have to start, yes, like thinking actually like the client again in that case. So usually when we're not prepared to pay a price for a product or a service or whatever it is, it's usually because we think it's not worth it, or we don't have the money, or we are just looking for discounts. So you have to try and decode, is your potential patient, telling you it's expensive because they genuinely think it's expensive and they probably found some cheaper prices somewhere else, which is very likely for the same treatment? Or is it just completely out of their budget? In which case you can only show empathy and tell them that these are my prices because of this and that. But, if you ever want to come and try another treatment, I'd love to see you in my clinic. If they can't afford you, they can't afford you. Or maybe they're just looking for discounts. They're hunters and they're just trying to tease you by saying it's expensive and just trying to see if you're going to give them a discount.
But also as well, just to add to that, something we run through all our training sessions is trying to convince a patient, whether they're new or existing, is always to provide them with existing testimonials, existing before and after photos. So even if it is an inquiry that's being sent via WhatsApp, I feel like if you have like your own folder and you're personally communicating with your patient, I don't think there's anything wrong with showing them a before and after or a testimonial of a previous patient that's performed the same treatment. And you can explain to your patient that, my patient came in, she had 4 skin needling treatments with me or 4 anti-wrinkle treatments with me. This is the before after on the 6th of June, and this is the after photo on the 8th of August, for example. And it's visual. People see, real results. They're not just reading words that you're responding to them via WhatsApp. So if it's something that you're comfortable doing, I highly recommend it as well.
100%.
Or if yeah.
Yes, we see it in the consultation rooms actually, that before and after photos are not part of the consultation sometimes, or the patient education process in the first consultation. We also see that a lot of clinics and practitioners spend a lot of time asking for Google reviews. And these are real stories, real testimonials, and they're not bringing those stories, those testimonials into their pitch, into the confidence, and into showing that potential patient the results that they have. So when it comes to price, this is your time. When they start saying it's expensive, this is your time to be confident, to be able to discuss the price by yourself without reverting to the receptionist, And yes, to show evidence, let me show you some before and after of similar of Botox treatments that I perform. You need to convince the patient. You need to sell it. If they have a price objection, it's your time to sell. But how do you sell with class? So show your results, talk about the reviews that you have, sound confident. Sometimes the messaging that we use, the tone of voice, or the words that we choose are not exactly confident. So let's say we're going to show you a reply, but let's say they say it's expensive. You could just say, well, I understand that this may be above your budget, or you might have found cheaper prices elsewhere. Don't be afraid of stating the truth. However, I'm confident that you will see the results that you're looking for this Botox treatment with me. So you have to show them that they're going to get the result, because if they think it's expensive, they might think it's not worth it. So show them that you're worth it, that your treatment is worth it, and show them the feeling that they're going to get. So Chantal can talk a little bit more about this, but it's very important, and we tend to overlook that aspect of selling and justifying price. If you sell just a treatment, 600 dirhams for Botox, it's not very emotional, it's not very appealing. So how can you sell that feeling within 2 weeks? So that I can give examples for Botox or facials. No, let them know that they're going to feel glowing, for example.
Yeah, like even if they come in for a simple, hydrofacial or just an anti-wrinkle treatment, there's nothing wrong with letting them know that you can't wait to see them in 2 weeks' time because the results are going to look amazing. There's been so many times previously where I've had clients of mine or, my colleagues where we motivate the patient, we make them feel good, we make them feel confident, building that rapport by, even just creating compliments. I can't, again, I can't wait to see the results. Your forehead's going to look amazing. You're going to look 10 years younger. Just little things like that, because us as humans, it's psychological. We want to feel like we're being complimented. We feel good. We look good. It's the saying. So, again, you want to maintain that professionalism via WhatsApp, but you also want to sort of tone it down and become a little bit more, provide that human interaction as well with the patient. And as well, that's why you want to pick up the phone and call the patient as well, because it's easier to build that rapport when you're actually speaking to them on the phone. I can assure that they could be getting married or something, or they could have an event on, or they could be going on holidays, and you could motivate them by saying, I can't wait to contribute to your glow, your hydrofacial glow, or whatever it may be. So um building that emotional connection with your patient as well is really important. And of course, actively listening and being really empathetic to your patient as well is really, really important. We tend to just talk over our patients and we forget to actually take a moment to listen to what they're saying, so we can actually create a solution to their problem. And you want to make it evident that I'm here to help you. I'm going to create a solution for you, and you're in good hands. It's not just a transaction where you're just going to give me your money and I'll see you later in 3 months' time. And also let them know to come in and visit you for an assessment every once in a while, every 2 to 3 weeks. Book them in advance and keep that connection and that relationship going. And it also gives you the opportunity to upsell treatments when they come in for that complimentary assessment, for you to actually have a look at them and take that after photo as well and show them the before when they first came in. So I think that's really important to, again, building that relationship with your patient.
So perhaps a quick question on that, because I
Yes.
know that this is all over WhatsApp, and I know that we're going to talk a lot about the value in the beginning before even trying as much as we can to avoid mentioning the price of the treatment. Perhaps yes, the consultation, and it's going to be redeemable and so on. Trying to get the patients in without discussing the treatment of a price. Now, if the patient insists to know about the price on WhatsApp, even before calling or that, I've seen some clinics and centers actually say we do not discuss prices over the phone. Do you recommend that this is a good practice? I mean, does it really increase somehow logically the value of the service that
I
you're
don't
giving, or you think it's not based on the market?
I personally think it can come across as not rude, but I just feel like the patient will just give up and just look elsewhere. Like, okay, you're not going to give me a price, the next person's going to give me a price. So if you can provide them with all the information that they're asking for, they're obviously coming to you for a reason. They could have been referred by a friend or seen some feedback online, and then you shut them down with, unfortunately, we can't give you a price until you come in for a consultation. I have heard that a lot, and I've heard clinics, with call centers say, I will just get the branch manager to give you a call and she can discuss pricing with you. That's okay because I know call center might not know the prices well enough. But I don't see the value of not giving the patient the price. And like I said, you don't need to give them the exact price. You can give them a rough estimate and say, however, I will still need to see you for that consultation because I would love to assess you and see how I can try to help you. And then I can provide you with a treatment plan that you can take home, and we can discuss further. But I don't think you should, yeah, always give a price. I don't know. What do you think, Savan?
Yes, I agree. I think you have to be cautious in case that, of course, your price range is very wide for that particular treatment. Um, but I think the patients know that. So you just mentioned it. Like, of course, the exact estimate will be provided to you when you come to the clinic and I see your skin. Of course, the skin assessment might change your evaluation. But if you'd like, I'm happy to share with you the price list. And actually, that's one of our recommendations in tonight's webinar. It's important for you to have a price list. Would you go to a restaurant that doesn't have a price list? Would you go to a hairdresser that doesn't tell you how much it's going to cost you for a cut and blow dry? We're in Dubai. We know that sometimes we get a little bit ripped off. So people are cautious. So I think you have to be transparent with your prices as much as possible, of course. Does that make sense? So let's carry on.
I personally think it's important to have your own personal. Sorry, Saban. I just think it's important for everyone to have their own personal price list. I don't know why Dubai doesn't have price lists, in place. There's a lot of practices that don't allow price lists. Everywhere in the world has price lists. I worked in Australia my whole life, and we've always had multiple price lists, and we've changed it, we've increased it, we've reduced it. We have promotions on, but people want to know pricing, like Savan was saying. So, I mean, if you can have your own price list and sort of, work off that during your inquiries, again, not giving the exact figure, but saying starting from, I think it's important. And I think it's another way of building trust with your patient rather than coming to you and then expecting a big bang, just like you do at hairdressers when you pay 300 dirhams for a wash and blow wave, but and they add the massage without you knowing, and it's frustrating for patients. So I think it's yeah, good to be honest from the start and give some sort of indication of what you may be charging.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. To be honest, I just feel a bit that it is very much transparent about prices is a good thing, but I've also seen opposite views, and I'm just sharing it between us
Hmm.
here that
Yep.
sometimes not sharing the price, it somehow gives a higher value, like of the clinic or the center, that we have the best service, we have the best doctors, we have the best therapists. And that's why, we're not giving prices over the phone. Of course, you will not say it that way, but it just gives an illusion, a perception that you're very confident of the value. And no, we're not going to do this kind of cheap selling discussion over the phone. And if you want to know more about us, you need to come to us to know more. So it's one of the reasons why some of the institutes and some of the centers, still clinics, they do this in Dubai or in UAE in general. But yeah, I see and I appreciate your point of view about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tula. Yeah.
Thank you. Your response, I think, just has to be aligned to your model of your clinic. You know, if you're very elite premium clinic that it's all about, you know, the assessment, the consultation, and personalized combined treatment, then maybe you will not have a price list. But I think if you're offering most of the services that other clinics offer, you're compelled to providing your prices.
Yes.
It makes sense.
So we skipped this slide, but I still wanted to show you. So it was just going back a little bit about the pricing being expensive, because it's always important to have a ready-made answer, I think, for these as well. So this is an example. I completely understand that price is an important factor for you when you're making these decisions. However, I want to reassure you, showing confidence, that I only use genuine premium quality products sourced directly from reputable suppliers. This ensures your safety and effectiveness of your treatment. This treatment plan is such a great investment for your skin, as you'll see results in the long run rather than a quick fix, which will only give you results for a shorter period of time. This is a little bit, you know, well, I'm expensive because other people cut corners, basically. So it's a different approach, but I think it's still important sometimes to be able to say it, because you just know that a lot of your patients in the aesthetic industry will have found cheaper prices because it will be from a clinic that cuts corners. So they will sell them something for half the price. You will lose that potential patient, unfortunately, because of them, but that patient is not going to get the result that they're looking. So why not be that person that informs them quite clearly but nicely that you can find it cheaper, but it's not going to be genuine treatments and it's not going to give you long-term results. However, I'm confident I'm going to give you the glow that you're looking for. So you need to adapt these responses based on, more how aggressive is the patient in terms of the price discussion. So sometimes you have to go soft and sometimes you have to go a little bit more confident and firm. I would like to show you a couple more things before we wrap up. So in case you don't have a response, so we often get asked this question, so I just want to run through it quickly. So usually we get asked the question, shall I follow up if I don't get a response from that inquiry? Our recommendation is to follow up, of course. First of all, the next day, I'll go back to this, then following up after 1 week, and then following up after 1 month. This would be the ideal follow-up scenario, but of course, you may not always be able to follow it. So after 1 day, you just send a lovely, simple message. We were chatting yesterday concerning your inquiry or your concern for X. I'd love to help you. Again, confidence, warm, with any questions that you have. Or shall I book you in for a consultation? Or are you ready to book a consultation? Sometimes making these assumptive questions actually goes a long way. And we find most people are shy to ask for it, but you'll be surprised when you ask the question, shall I book you in? Are you ready to book your treatment? People might say yes. And if you hadn't asked, they wouldn't have said yes, right, Chantal?
Yes, that's right. Today I witnessed it in a call center. After that, every conversation, the lady said, "Shall I book you in for an appointment?" And honestly, 9 times out of 10, she booked the appointment in without a doubt. So it's a really good way. Again, it's an open-ended question, so it's a good way to get them to answer and respond to you.
Yeah, so always you're following up with a message, but when you follow up, you don't want to send a message just to say, hi, it's Shireen, I'm just following up on your inquiry. Nobody will respond to that because you're not asking them anything. So if you follow up, you need to prompt and you need to ask a question. Yes, no, or open questions so that you're giving them a reason to respond to you. After 1 week, what you could do is you could actually send them more information for them to read. So it could be some before and after photos, it could be a treatment guide, it could be a nice video you have on Instagram, it could be your website, it could be anything, but just something with a bit more substance to give you a real reason to follow up again with them.
And even if it's a profile section about you, I find that a lot of clients in Dubai like to know about you as the doctor, you know, where you're from and how many years experience have you had and what treatments you perform. So a little biography about you to send in that link, I think again will help build the trust of this patient that's never seen you and is potentially wanting to book in with you.
Yes, I actually didn't use the slide tonight because I thought there might be some members from last time and we didn't want to repeat it. But if you have a chance, have a look at Dr. Mihaela's Instagram profile. She has pinned a video on her Instagram profile that simply says, "Hey, I'm Dr. Mihaela and welcome to my Instagram profile. I'm really happy that you're here to see my content." And this is a video that we suggest. For example, you just have your link and then it's something you could just send to your patients as well, you know. You could just have them when you start the conversation with them, or, you know, I invite you to take a look at my Instagram account. You'll see some before and after, some treatment tips, and here's more information about me. So this is very personal. I love the idea of having a video introduction of you or sending them back to your Instagram page. You're going to put a lot of efforts into your Instagram, so why not drive your patients to take a look at it? So last week we talked about the importance for you to collect the contact details. Just to wrap up on this session, so we shared a spreadsheet template in the members WhatsApp group, but it can be very simple. You open Excel and you put the date, you put the name of your patient, of the inquiry, their email if you have it, their mobile number, what did they inquire about and where. It could be Instagram, it could be WhatsApp, could be a friend recommendation. And this way, after a few weeks, few months, few years, you have a long list of potential patients. And if one day you open your clinic or you want to become more active with your marketing, you have that data. So it's very important. So how to collect that data, as Shireen said in the beginning, this is an example. If you wanted to ask for it in the beginning, otherwise, you can ask for it when they book the appointment. Of course, at that stage, you know, you can have a very nice message as well, which is pre-written like here, to confirm the appointment and make sure you collect all the contact details. So actually, here's the example. I still have the slide. I thought I had removed it, but creating a video introduction pinned on your Instagram profile could be something really nice for you to build into that first WhatsApp message, as we said, when you respond to their inquiry. Hi, you've reached Shireen, really happy to be in touch with you. Here's my profile on Instagram, and let me know how can I help you today. And one of our recommendations is, of course, to create a service and a price list. So why are we mentioning this tonight? Simply because if you have it, this is just a very simple example. You can do it in Canva. It's something that you can just post as an image or as a document in your WhatsApp conversation when they start asking about prices. It shows transparency as well. So we hope that this has answered some of the questions that you had. It's quite a broad topic. You know, there's many scenarios that can come up in your WhatsApp conversations. If there's any that's on your mind that we have not had a chance to discuss, please let us know, or any particular challenges that you have usually when you're getting those inquiries. We'd love to help you.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Doa.
Thank you. Thanks, Noah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, ladies.
Shireen, you're still with us. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Was it helpful, Shireen? Like any particular scenarios that you run into
Yes,
that?
yeah, I think it's helpful because actually I'm starting from tomorrow because as I told you, there is something with the leads we need to handle. So I am just starting from tomorrow start to get involved more. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to figure it out what's going on because I have a high amount of leads. So there is something wrong. So we need to figure it out. So now I feel like it's now my responsibility. I need to, because this is the leads that come from me. They want the treatment that I provide. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I will have more experience now from tomorrow
Okay.
to respond
Just
all of this. And
to
I will
make your
share.
life
Yeah,
easier. Sorry to cut you off. To make your
tell
life
me.
easier, just like the template that Savan just showed you at the end,
Mhm.
with collecting data. If you want to also add, a column where it's, the reason for the patient's follow-up, and then
Mhm.
whether or not the client's been booked or not. And that way, at least you or another staff member can go back and follow it up if they haven't booked or you're struggling to get them to book in. So you have a nice spreadsheet and it's nice and organized for you to actually be able to document everyone. And you at least you know how many inquiries you're getting a day as well. It's good for your reporting at the end of the month.
Yeah, actually, it's really a very good point. That's what I was planning to يعني, start doing because it's really
Yeah,
important to know
it
all the
is.
details and what's going on really with all these people that's trying to reach us.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, look, like I said, the biggest tip from today is yeah, just I know today was about WhatsApp, but I mean, if you can get on the phone, first point of contact, and call the clients first before you pursue to continue, message them, I think you'll be winning in that situation before you continue to chat with them via social media or WhatsApp or whatever it may be.
So I was thinking like maybe at the beginning I should send a voice message asking for, let's say, contact number, and then if they respond, then I will make a call, or just maybe inform them that if you like I can make a phone call. You can give me like a specific time that would suit you, so we can call you, we can discuss over the phone. Maybe I think it would be better than um,
That's
um,
that's
just call
totally
them
fine. Yeah,
directly, you know.
if you feel more comfortable, absolutely, you can definitely ask them. But like we were saying before, as long as you do the most simple things of introducing yourself and where you're from and thanking them for their inquiry, and then proceed to asking them when's it a good time for me to contact you, or do you mind if I contact you, or whatever it may be, and then jump on the phone to call them. But as long as it's not like a direct message where, like you're talking to your friend, can I please call
Yeah.
you? So have
Yes,
some, professionalism from the beginning and then ask.
yes.
Great. Good luck,
Amazing.
Shireen. I'm sure it
Good
will
luck.
be
Thank
Yes.
you.
it will work. I mean, I think the moment you take ownership, it's always more effective, sorry to say, than the receptionist trying to convert those inquiries. So you're the best person to sell your treatment. So good luck.
Yes,
100%.
Good luck. And thank you, Chantal, for
Thank you.
co-presenting tonight. Thank you, ladies. Have a lovely
Thanks,
evening.
Savan. No
thank you
Thank
worries.
so
you.
much.
Take
Thank you,
See
care.
you.
Sarah.
Bye.
Thank you, Chantal.
See you. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Take care.
No
Bye-bye.
worries.
Bye,
Bye. Bye.
ladies.